Haven't seen you for
Brothers and sisters, if we could have everybody try to take a seat and squeeze in as much as we can to facilitate as many people sitting as possible. Okay. We want to thank everyone for taking the time to join us for the memorial service of Daniel Allan. My name is Trent Bolter. I'm a bishop here in this area, in the ward that Sharice and Daniel live in. Sharice has asked me just to simply go over some of the program to let everybody know what's going to happen. We're going to start with an opening prayer offered by Sherry Ryan, after which we'll have the life sketch and life introduction by Sharice. Before we then have a few individuals share some remembrances of Daniel, starting with Maddie Allan, followed by Gwen and Grace, and then Nicole Grant, and we'll proceed to that point. Sherry.
I'm a little short. I got it. Thanks. There we go. Heavenly Father, today we come before you with hearts full of gratitude and sorrow as we remember our beloved Daniel. We thank you for the precious gift of his life, for the love he gave, and for the way he touched our hearts with his kindness, strength, and wisdom. Lord, we know that Daniel is now in your care, embraced by your eternal love and peace. We ask that you surround him with your comfort and grace, and may his soul rest in everlasting peace of your presence. We also lift up those of us who remain mourning his loss. Grant us comfort in our grief and help us to find solace in the memories we cherish. May your peace, which surpasses all understanding, fill our hearts, reminding us that Daniel's spirit lives on in each of us through the love and the lessons he shared. Guide us through this time of sorrow and help us to honor Daniel's memory by living with the love and kindness he demonstrated. We trust in your promises, knowing that one day we will be reunited with him in your heavenly kingdom. In your name we pray. Amen.
This is amazing. I love seeing that he reached just a giant crowd of people. If you knew my husband, you know he was fucking rad. How you can meet someone and learn the most intimate details of them and love them for their uniqueness. He would give you his entire heart. One of his friends said that to me from work and said he would just pour out his entire heart into you and ask for a thing back from you. He's my everything. When I met him 20 years ago as a teen, he told me I looked hot in my sunglasses, and I just knew how special his heart was. He's my soulmate. He came into my life and healed parts of me that I didn't even know were broken. And there he is, messing with us. I know the feeling of love and safety that a good young man provides by being my hero and loving me in spite of my flaws. He became a mirror that reflected back all the darkness in me and then helped me confront it in a safe and loving way. The beauty of watching him grow alongside me and turn from a young man into a powerful, handsome, hardworking, caring, and he led us in peace and kindness. It's a gift from God to be loved the way that he loves people. A love so strong that I often forgot where I ended and he began, because the two of us are one. We had big plans. We talked of opening schools. We talked of reinstating bison into the Native American lands. He had so many beautiful things, including working on time machines. So if we did that, we'd love that. We shared the same visions for our future and worked hard to accomplish our dreams and make our dreams come to fruition. While it's unfathomable to be without him in this physical world, I can feel Daniel comforting us just as he did over and over again. I know he has his arms wrapped around us and around me, kids. He's wiping the tears from our faces and telling us to take a deep breath and know everything's going to be okay. My heart finds comfort knowing that he gave us absolutely everything that he could here on earth. There isn't anything he wouldn't have done for me and our kids and basically everybody he met. He would give everybody everything. His love and guidance still lives inside of us. Our reunion in heaven will be glorious and pure joy. But until then, I know God is teaching him and guiding him and loving him while he waits for all of us. Maddie?
I'm Maddie, Daniel's oldest daughter, and thank you all for coming out here today to celebrate him. Because we're all here because we all lost Daniel Allan, but we all lost someone different because he's a friend to some of us, a son, a nephew, a father, and a husband. But we still are all out here to celebrate him, and I thank you all. You guys all know how amazing he was, but he was so much more than everyone knew because his strength didn't just show through his actions, it showed through his love and how hard he worked to be such a good father to me and my sisters and my brother. Thank you.
I love my dad. Why did my dad have to go away? Go. Well, I don't know if he left our love. I know I didn't love him more than he did, more than he loved me, but I loved him a lot. I know he's watching over us right now, and he'll never stop. I hope. I'm just trying to say I love my dad a lot. And he was an amazing dad. And he knew a word that could heal anyone. F-A-R-T. Grace. My dad was the best dad ever. You should have met him. Even if you didn't, he was. And he was cool. S-A-R-T 5.
I'm going to try to hold it together, but then Gwen busted out a paper and all he could say is, Gwen is so much like you. And here's me with an old school paper. Hello. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Nicole, Daniel's big sister. I'm not the biggest sister. I just was the tallest until he hit a growth spurt. And got, I think he was about my height, maybe just
always beat him in length. And he was always winning with how much gray hair he had. So I changed to blonde. So the last 20 years since since his family relocated to Arizona, I've only had so many chances to see him. Each and every one I cherish. In these last few days, I wish I had done something different or added more times with him and his family. Most recently, I was able to go with just him and take a little car ride, and open up about a few things from the past that he didn't know about. And it was a really special moment. It's a time I'll hold in my heart forever. It feels like since I became an adult, my life has been put in fast forward, and he wasn't far behind. But when we were young, we had a lot of fun, and also we got into a lot of trouble. Mom's phone calls at work. They're fighting again. One of our favorite shows was American Gladiator, and there was a level where the gladiators would have to find some small flag in a mountain of like foam blocks. And so we would take all the couch cushions, every sheet, every pillow, pile it up, stick a washcloth at the bottom, and pretend like we were fighting that flag. Just, we make forts all the time. We had 2 bunk beds, which was like the perfect fort making. Spend weeks with it in there. The room would be a mess. In the winter, we played outside until our hands were frozen and we were starving. We'd come in and eat cereal, except for Daniel would eat like a whole loaf of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. It feels like yesterday we were gathering change to head to the store and buy Hot Wheels so we could play on the car town that Grandma died in. We'd play for days on it, line them up, take turns picking. When he moved to Arizona with my parents, I really did try to visit at least once a year because family means everything to me. If I could, I would have just had us all live on a compound. One year I surprised Daniel with going, and I drove to Sholo for his birthday, and we brought him about some cookies. He didn't eat them much now, but back then that was his all-time favorite. We moved out here a few years ago, and I finally had a chance to spend more time together with him. But sometimes life can get in the way. He's a busy guy, keeping the family busy. I'm gonna miss him every day. I'm gonna miss the random texts, bits of info. The last text was, "I love you, Colby." I'm gonna miss his laugh and his hugs. Daniel, I love you.
We want to thank those who have shared their thoughts and feelings to this point. Charisse has asked that we open up the floor for individuals to share brief memories. There are a lot of people here. And I know that the family is extremely appreciative for the support and love that you are demonstrating by taking time out of your day. That being said, we do not have time for everyone. So please, if you do have a message and a memory that you'd like to share, keep it brief. And we'll go ahead and open it up for the next 30 or so minutes, and about 5 minutes to the hour with this portion, recognizing that we will have the opportunity to continue to share these memories and thoughts a little bit later today.
So I'm a hilarious crier, so I'm gonna try and just keep it light so you don't have to see that. We're celebrating Daniel, and I know that we're doing this for all of us because he already knew how we felt about him. But this is exactly what he would have wanted. So I've only been friends with him for a short time. And in that time, it was pretty easy to become friends with him, which is hard for me because I usually end conversations with a truly terribly timed joke or it's really inappropriate. And that's when the conversation ends, not because it's done, just because they walk away. With Daniel, I would start to share just an incredibly off-the-wall idea. And as I was sharing it, it was like he was waiting for me at the finish line of my idea, like he'd been there for days. And it was just so nice to have somebody who, let's see, somebody who could understand me. He loved outdoors and he loved adventure. He loved nothing more than his family. And it was the highlight of every conversation we ever had. But that's mostly what we did was talk. One time he asked if I wanted to do something on a Saturday, like maybe go for a little hike. And I thought, yeah, I could do a small hike, like maybe see a bird or two, and a small hike. So I said yes before I found all the details out. And he said, okay, let's go hike Mount Temp. So I panicked and I said, oh, I'm sick that day. Like I've been putting it off for weeks, but I absolutely can't. Saturday's my day. And he went anyway. And it was a very specific Saturday. Like he got to the top, like when he got back, he went with Josiah. But when he got back, he told the story, and he got to the top, and he did a typical Daniel thing, right? He admired all the beautiful vista. He walked around, and saw all the beautiful flowers that are there at the top. But it was in the middle of like the worst storm ever. It was snowing, raining, and it was windier than it is now. And they didn't bring coats. So they were on the top of Mount Temp, frozen solid, and loving every second. And then running down the hill for those 13 miles or whatever it is, might as well have been 100. And laughing the whole way. And it was just distinctly a Daniel activity. Being moments from freezing to death and loving every second. And when he got back, he explained it like it was the best day of his life. And it was contagious, right? I almost felt bad for not going, almost. Because his love for life was so contagious. And like with a lot of us, we can find something wrong in just about anything. I can find 2 or 3 things wrong in just about everything. But he found something great about literally everything and everyone. Sorry, I looked at my wife, so I gotta look over here. No, I don't use tissues, I don't cry. That was always what he wanted. He wanted all of us to just love life. It didn't matter what we were doing, just to love it. And I think that got it. I think that that's what I'm going to take from this. Just love life more. So, let's not get off. I'm going to miss him, but he'll still be with us.
Good job, Mike. Yeah, tough to follow that for sure. It's wonderful to see everybody here. Again, he would have loved it, and just also wanted to always have everybody together. I've known Daniel for a little over 17 years. His brother-in-law. We've had a wonderful time. All the times that I've known Daniel. The first times I met him was at Susan's house down in Arizona, and we had a pool in the backyard when it was hot out there. And Daniel and I, the first days that I met him, we were just swimming out there in the back playing with the dogs, and he was always just a hop in and go kind of guy. He always said yes to things, which was really neat, and I really admired him for that, and I would like to also incorporate more of that into my life. I had the pleasure of working with him in Sholo, Arizona for a while, and we sold cars together. He could drive anything as fast as it could go. He could drive a Mitsubishi Lancer as fast as it would go, and he could drive a Dodge Challenger as fast as it could go, and he was comfortable doing all that. So thank you, everybody, for listening, and I'm sure going to miss it. Thank you.
I'm the grandma that he texts and say he come down to Texas to see me from a bad situation. Him and Stephen, and they went down, brought all my stuff back. I just want to say what a wonderful, wonderful grandson and grandkids I have. I'm very thankful for all of them. And Daniel was very special because he was smart, he was fun, he had all the things, all the answers. Thank you. We will miss him. Miss you, Daniel, and love you.
Hi, let's see. Daniel was a friend of mine, something like 23 years ago. We met in 9th grade when our paths finally crossed at Provo High, and he was always like best friends with some of my good friends. Wasn't exactly like him and me hanging out too much, but we skateboarded together and we played music together sometimes, and he was always, my biggest memory of him was that he was always building me up, telling me that I was so good at these things. And as a teenager, you know, I was so insecure and had so little confidence that I honestly thought he was messing with me a lot of the time. I'd be like, stop, everybody knows I'm not that good. But no, it wasn't until he came back up for a wedding. He was the best man at his wedding. And I realized that he just genuinely was that positive and encouraging and appreciative. And I really looked forward to getting to know him better when he came back up here, but I guess I had a different path. So anyway, when I got out of the car today, the first person I saw was this guy good looking kid. And then hearing the daughter speak really got me choked up, so I just wanted to say that while I do wish I could have gotten to know him a lot better in our adult lives, I'm very, very grateful to have known him when I did. He's just always so encouraging and appreciative and supportive and authentic. So, yeah, thank you for letting me share.
My name is Justin. So I was Daniel's cousin, and first time I really met Daniel was, so he essentially married into our family with his mom, and I was very grateful that they came into our family. For one of the reasons is because before that I was the only boy in the family, so it kind of helped give me someone to hang out with at family gatherings. And I'm hearing a lot of things that are being said and realizing that Daniel didn't really change much. He was kind of the same guy from when I first met him all the way up till now. One of the first things I remember is he's actually the one that gave away his mom at their wedding. He focused on family so much that he wanted to be there for anybody that he was close to. The next one that came to mind is I spent summer with my grandparents, and it was supposed to be with my grandparents, but they could only tolerate me for a little while, so they sent me to stay with Jeff and Susan and hang out with him for a summer. And the two main things that I remember about that trip is, one, he relentlessly tried to teach me how to skateboard and failed every try, but he was adamant about it. And to this day, I still can't. But not for lack of his effort. The other was him and I went running around in swimsuits in the middle of a rainstorm and found a drainage area, and we ended up finding this little baby duck, and we brought it back to the house without Aunt Susan knowing until later. And we just let it float around in the tub. We filled up the tub and let it float around, and we got away with that for a few hours, and then we were told to go put it back. And so these are just kind of the memories that roll around in my head as we're going across how he lived his life. It was all about having kind of like same things that have been mentioned, having a good time, caring about those around him, everything from the people around him to the nature around him. Unfortunately, we kind of lost touch quite a bit, but we tried to see each other on like family gatherings and whatnot. And every time we'd catch up and just enjoy the time that we had. He's definitely someone that's going to be missed. I suggest just hold on to these memories. This is amazing. He would have loved this. Those of you that don't know me, I'm Tyler, and Daniel was my oldest friend. I met him at Franklin Elementary in 3rd grade, and at first he was a bully. And by 6th grade, he was my brother. And being friends with Daniel should have come with warning labels at times. Susan, God bless her, put up with me, Eric and Daniel, setting fire to a pair of jeans in your backyard for whatever reason. One of the oldest memories I have of him was rubbing rubber cement on his hands and asking Eric to light him up, and it would work. You could light my hands on fire and it will work. And he's in the grass, putting his hands down, and the tops would flame up. The tops on the grass and the palms would flame up. And by the end, I thought the rubber cement was skin coming off of it. And that was some of the highlights with Daniel. I always thought the last day that we spent together in 10th grade before he moved to Arizona was going to be the hardest day. And we kept in touch, and I went down to Arizona and had the privilege to be part of him and Sharice's wedding. And through all of the jobs he was going through down there, I kept him in mind and told him if I could ever get him on board up here, that I would love it if he could make the journey. And me and my wife were able to live with them for 6 months, so they became a very important part of our family, during COVID especially. So all of those holidays where you couldn't see any of your family, it was us. And we love them so much, so much for everybody. I haven't been able to find the words, and I'm sure going to miss my friend. Thank you.
Hi there. My name's Veronica. I used to work with Daniel. And I remember the first time I met him was August 1st of 2018. I checked my email. And I had asked him what moniker he wanted me to use. Like, to be a Dan guy. Dan was like, definitely. Thank you. I'm full name type. This works. And there's a huge stereotype that when people have kids, they're born because all they want to talk about is their kids. I couldn't wait to come into work and hear about the shenanigans your family got up to over the weekend, including a lovely trip you guys took to Tonto, where Dan confused every child in the vicinity by saying, "Look, a dinosaur!" Or I would come into random pictures with no description of a Princess Castle bounce house. And then I thought I wished I'd been at that party. And then a man had a birthday, I got invited to a party by Cherise. I get to work one day and David goes, "Are you sure you want to go to a child's birthday party?" Well, I am so going. We're letting this happen. And between holidays like Thanksgiving and birthday parties, I grew to love this family he only ever talked about before. And then sometimes I became part of those stories. And it was really, really nice. Oh, through my email. I found a really good one where he was on the way to work one day. And he said, "Goodbye, Captain Glenn." She replied, "Goodbye, Captain Dad." So, thank you, Daniel, for being the best captain in that family, the best captain in our lives.
This is hard. My name's Brian Schofield. I wanted to represent for the people who worked with him at Global Payments. Like Tyler said, Daniel interviewed him over the phone. He was in Arizona. And we had a chance to interview him a lot. And I asked him, I'm like, have you had any experience in merchant sales? We set up merchant accounts. There he is. And he says no. He hadn't. But he talked to me about how he'd done cars and different things, and he tried to sell himself best he could. But there was something about him, and everyone who's met him knows this. There was something about him. Now, in our work, our culture is very, very important. And you couldn't have found, I could never, in my time there, have hired somebody who would fit a culture better, who fit better into a group of people. I want his children and his family to know he was exactly who you thought he was at work. He was kind. He was thoughtful. He helped all of us. He made every one of us better at our jobs. For me, I was his manager, and I gave him more things. When we had merchants that were angry, customers that were angry, I gave them to Daniel because Daniel. Funniest was when we had a complaint about him one day. We're like, how do you complain about Daniel? Like, what are you gonna? Was he too nice? Was he too helpful? He was too forgiving. He reduced all your fees to zero. What did he do? He was just too nice. But he was exactly who everybody thought he was. My favorite trait in a person is someone that's genuine, that has real integrity, and that's exactly who he was. When we found out about this, our thread that went around, just devastated. I can't imagine how you guys feel. It's hard because he was just good. He was just so good that I'm angry, I'm bugged that he's not here because I've been telling my wife about him for a week now, driving her crazy. But it's not made up because he's gone now. He was literally that good. He was good, thoughtful, kind, caring, put other people first in spite of himself. It was everything that you would want: a son, a husband, a father. And miss him like crazy. Thank you.
I would just add to what Brian said. It was my privilege to sit next to him for the last year or so. And Daniel was the only guy that I know that got paid by management just for being so nice. That's true.
To me, and Sue moved him to Provo, I was so mad because I was like, when am I going to hang out with him now? You know, we still got together sometimes. I got to spend so much of the summer before my junior year with him, and I'm so grateful for that time. And then I was so mad that he took me to Brother. I didn't say why. He took him down to Arizona. I was just like, when am I ever going to see him now? And then life took my family to Arizona, and we had an opportunity to go visit Daniel and Sharice in Cholo. I was so excited to see my cousin, and then he spent most of our visit outside teaching my kids to ride a bike because we hadn't had a chance to do that. And he was a gem. Now we live in Missouri, and I'm not happy that this is why I came back to you. But yeah, this is great. He is
be able to do this, but first off, thank you all for coming. It makes me proud as a mom to know that he touched so many lives. From the time he was just a baby, learning how to walk, he had the same personality that he had his whole life. I'm going to feel his loss for a long time. Eric is here today, and I haven't seen Eric in a really long time, but it brings back the memory of Daniel wanting to have just a small band to play in our basement. Not knowing that half of Provo High was going to show up at my house. And he talked about it as I was the coolest one ever because I let him have a straight band and play in my basement. He wasn't into sports. He tried once, broke his arm, that was it. Playing football. He played for 1 year, and that was more than enough. He said, I don't want to play football. Daniel loved his family. Teresa has been a part of our family for 20 years. At first I was like, you're kind of young to get this serious about somebody, and he said, but Mom, she's the one. And so I just want to say how grateful I am to her. The love that she showed me. And I just want to thank you again for coming and being a part of this celebration of his life. Thank you.
You don't know me, my name is Scott. My sister is Sharice. And I don't really know what I'm going to say because there's just been a lot of thoughts and emotions going through this past week. everybody's already said the things, but just thinking about Daniel, there's just words that come to mind. Like passion and zeal, fervency, and whatever he believed with his whole heart, through and through. But just hearing some of the memories that were shared just started bringing up memories in my mind. And I remember one of the last great memories I have with him. It had been some time since I had spent time with him. But we went on a camping trip. It was me, my brother Brian, and Daniel and our friend. And we show up, and Daniel's got like I show up with like a tent, I think, and a sleeping bag, but he's got like every gadget thing known to me for camping. Brian's like, yeah, that's Daniel. He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it right. He busts out this. If you guys have ever had this food, like, I don't know how he learned to do that, but this Dutch oven, and he's got like chicken. He just starts throwing stuff at his pot. That's the best shit you ever had. But while it's cooking, we're sitting around the fire and we're about to set this flute. He starts playing the flute. And all of a sudden it's like 3,000 years ago and we're in the ancient times and the spirit's moving and I'm like, what's happening? I went home and I carved a flute out of a sunflower stalk and it's because of that. I wanted to bring it, it couldn't fit in my suitcase. But I was thinking, like, he brought this hammock that you hang between the trees and it, like, covers you up. It was freaking cold out there. Nah, we're good. And we ended up camping in this spot that was, growing up, it was over a church camp, but it was on abandoned. And we were kind of walking around looking at this property, and they had this zip line. And it was at the top of this giant tower, but the tower was like, we're like, dang it, man, we wish we could zip line down. He's like, I'll climb up there. He starts climbing up this tower, and he's like shimmying around. We work our way around into the tower, and there's this box, and we're hoping the gear's in there, and we're like, oh, this is going to be awesome. There's just 4 of us guys out in the middle of nowhere. And we open the box, and we're like, dang it, the box is empty. And we're like, oh, kind of dejected, and we get back to camp, and he's like, I got this strap on my hammock. He's like, this is gonna work. Let's get this. And he starts generating this like harness, and the youngest of us, Preston, that was there, he's like, I'm going. And Daniel gets them all strapped in on this cable, and he's like tiptoeing, the strap's like wedged. He's like tiptoeing on the edge. He's like, I don't know. Daniel's like, you got it. He's like, yeah. And he comes like 3 feet away from the tower, and he stops. He's like hanging there. He's like, just keep shimmying. And he's like, you can do it. And he's like, can't reach the cage, and he's like stuck there. Me and my brother were way down the line thinking he was gonna fly and we had to stop him. He's just at the top. Anyways, that was Daniel, like whatever, I think everybody said it. He just jumped in with both feet and he lived life with fervency, and that's what I want to take away from this is just the love that he poured out and the realness, and just grasping every moment and looking at his beautiful children and family. It's just one thing I'm going to miss is his hugs. But not to put you on the spot, bro, where you at? If you need a hug, like Daniel hug, just go see his brother. He gives me hugs like that. So, thank you.
Hey everybody, my name's Josiah. I'm Daniel's son. The best thing that I can remember as of right now, I was 10 years old. It was my birthday. I got a scooter and a skateboard, went outside and we started skating. And he taught me how to do my first ollie. It was so awesome. Then we went inside and had dinner. I think we had like steak or something. And I love him. And I hope that he helped impact you guys and make you all feel so amazing. And he was definitely the guy that you'd want to go do literally anything with. Thank you all for coming.
Didn't know that. But as we conclude the service, let us take a moment to reflect on the life and love that Daniel brought into this world. Though his time with us feels far too short, the impact he made on our lives and in our hearts and our stories we'll continue to share with one another. In the days ahead, may we honor Daniel by living with the same love and generosity he shares with us. Let us support one another, cherish our time together, and carry forward the beautiful legacy he has left behind. As we part ways, may we find peace in knowing that Daniel's spirit will always be with us in the quiet moments, in the cherished memories, and in the love we carry forward. Thank you for being here today to honor and celebrate such a beautiful life that Daniel lived. As a reminder, and those who didn't get a program, there will be a luncheon following the service at 950 North, 60 East in American Fork, Utah. Maddie made sure to tell me and everyone that it had to be in Utah because there is an American Fork in New Zealand, and we won't be going there. Thank you.
We just want to say thank you one more time to everybody who's been able to join us. That location is 3 blocks directly south of the church building next to where Therese and Daniel lived. Thank you again for joining us, and we'll go ahead and adjourn at this point.